Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Stardew Valley. This is actually a bit of a special episode because I'm recording this at 6 o'clock at night as opposed to the early morning, and we're actually going to be able to get through all of winter today. This is going to be a one-off recording session. The reason being is I worked today. Yeah, I've been working my actual job and have been unable to do recordings, and I'm thinking if I do 1 or 2 episodes today, I should be able to I'll have a couple days off this week. I might be able to get 5 more episodes on the chain or down the way, and we'll just be, you know, moving right along. So we're actually just going to be getting this one episode done today, but it'll leave us in a great spot for the next recording session being on Spring 1. So it's almost perfect how this is going to work out. It's going to be New Year's, and I think tomorrow in the game itself I would like to reflect on a little bit of everything of how this series has really revitalized actually my interest in recording for YouTube. Has been something that I've been doing consistently, and something that has really changed my perspective on how to have a good work ethic when it comes to recording content for YouTube. Because I could have easily sat today and done nothing. And just said, you know, I worked today, I'm not really feeling it, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see what year 2 of Stardew Valley brings for the series. I suspect that I might have only 2 seasons left in this game, and you know, that's big to think that we'll be completing the series, because then I have to start thinking about what's going to be the next step. And I'm very excited to move forward with the channel. We actually are only 2 subscribers away from 100, which is, you know, it's not much, but to me, in my own purview, it's amazing, honestly. And I'm very grateful for the, you know, the limited but increased, like, how do I put this? Interest in this series. It's been, quite frankly, amazing. Because I started doing this as like a, you know, I think it'll be fun to kind of get some stuff done, like just record Stardew Valley, because I never played this game, and you know, it's been pretty incredible so far. So thank you for that, for everything, from sincerely. From like the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate all the new subscriptions and all the interest in the channel so far. It's been pretty incredible. Next order of business, continuing with the 100 subscriber thing, I have an idea for the 100 subscriber special. I'm not going to say what it is, but I am going to say that I am going to be doing something special for that. So I might record it early, but we'll definitely be doing something for them for when we hit 100 subscribers. So be on the lookout for that. That's the first milestone. Also, I think that might be a new. These both might be new. Geminite stuff, definitely not. But Opal and Ocean Stone definitely are, I think. So what are we gonna do today? We're gonna donate to the museum, that's for dang sure. And we got a new reward. Oh, we got a crystallarium. Oh, that's awesome. Wow, I didn't think we were that close to 70 or 60 minerals. Yeah, it's been great. So we're gonna do more Super Mega Baseball once I have more time on my hands and can actually record at home while there's nobody here right now. None of my housemates are here, but I always do find it a bit awkward when I'm screaming in my room about dingers. There's other people in the house, and so I've been holding off on that for a bit, but yeah, so we'll be getting that on the way. That series is what we're on, episode 13. There's 32 games in the regular season. I think we're doing 4-game series, so we're probably about a sixth of the way through, if I had to guess. So I'll be hopefully recording at least 2 or 3 more episodes of that in the near future. As I've said before, it's hard for me to record those en masse because I have to put so much energy into those episodes that it's draining to do. However, I will be hopefully recording more Fall Guys with my, I guess my now official partners. We're not like a thing, I guess. We haven't discussed that, but if you're watching this, Dorkax and or Big Red Plays, in the future, text me or message me and let's consider making like a little group. I think that would be interesting to do because we all stream together, we all record stuff together, so I think that'd be a good thing to do that. And this is a shout out to you. This is breaking the fourth wall. So yeah, and also if you're watching my stuff, make sure you check them out too, because their content is a lot more in depth than mine. Let me tell you. I'm just doing basic series here. You know, as far as everything goes, it's interesting that I'm talking about all this in-depth meta stuff for this episode in specific, because when I said my first episode, I was gonna like, this is what we're gonna do for this series, and we didn't do that. We actually talked about the game the entire time, which is not what I intended to do, and now we're actually just talking about things that aren't related to the game. We have another cheese press. I don't know what to do with that, honestly. You know, we also never got any battery packs. But now we have 2 crystallariums, so we're gonna be able to make all the bank in the world. We were getting frozen geodes for a reason, and that reason was to get the crystallarium. And now we did it. So, how are we doing on our skills and everything? 9, 9, 8, 8. Okay. 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9. 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's go to the mines. We have a good amount of money. We're gonna be so well set up for the next day, for the next season. It's going to be quite a good season, I think. I think we're gonna be making a lot of advances. Oh, this is too low. It's too spooky. So what have I been doing with my life? It's been a few days since I recorded the last episode. By a few days, I mean it's been 1 week since you looked at me. I don't know. It's been a long time. I think over a week, at least maybe a week and a half. I had so many recorded in the backlog. I just was kind of going for it. There's a bat. So this will be a good change of pace, I think. Just doing the one. It actually, honestly, all depends on how this goes. I want to actually, you know, I do just want to record the one today. I think that'll be the correct move, because then I can sit down and not have this, you know, back and forth of like, I don't know if I'm going to record more, and then I need to have a lot of like actual ideas of what I want to do, because it'll be spring 1 tomorrow in the next episode. Oops. And that's gonna be big because we need to fill the greenhouse, and we need to fill the outside of our house with, I think we decided on beans. Well, I think we'll do beans in the greenhouse, and we'll do beans outside too, I guess. Just all the beans. We're just gonna be a bean farmer. From Stardew Valley. We're gonna have all the green beans, every single one. And these bats are trying to juke me right now. What else has been going on? The NFL season started. The Packers started out 1-0. The Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated from the playoffs in the second round by the Miami Heat in 5 games. So that sucks. that did not make me very happy. That's still a pretty fresh wound. The MLB regular season is starting to wrap up. I think we only have like 12 games left. I think the Cubs only have 12 games left. I know that they are sitting at 28-20, and they're currently in first place in our division by not a wide margin, but not a small margin. So that's going well. They control their destiny. Their magic number is 12, so that can only go lower. It can't get higher. So that means that every game they win, that goes down 1. And every game, I think the Cardinals would be the second place team. Every time the Cardinals lose, the number also goes down by 1. So, good. It's, you know, it brings a smile to my face. And we're playing the Cleveland Indians right now, who have one of the better pitching rotations in the league. Not in the league, because that's what you would say for basketball, but in the MLB. So Alec Mills, which is just an amazing story. He's the number 5 man on our rotation, or on the Cubs rotations. I don't play for the Chicago Cubs, but he's the number 5 man on the Chicago Cubs rotation. Shouldn't even be pitching, because who would normally be our 5, well, not necessarily be our 5, but who would be in our starting rotation? Jose Quintana got hurt to begin the season. He cut his hand, his throwing hand, so he was unable to throw, and then he re-injured himself during his second appearance as a relief pitcher. And so he continued to start, and then another one of our starting pitchers, Tyler Chatwood, who just re-injured himself today, which is sad. He had a really good start to the season. Also got hurt earlier in the season, so that allowed Alec Mills to stay on the pitching rotation, on rostered, as opposed to being sent to our AA ball club or the Cubs AA ball club in South Bend, Indiana. So he ended up staying on the roster, and he no-hit the Milwaukee Brewers, which is only the 16th no-hitter thrown in the history of the Chicago Cubs. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And the reason why it's incredible is that Alec Mills was a walk-on pitcher to the University of Tennessee at somewhere. So not the University of Tennessee, so not the number 1 club in the state. He wasn't supposed to play for them at all. He basically walked by in practice, and he saw that people were playing. He's like, hey, I bet I can make your team, and then he did. So he never got a scholarship. And then he ends up being drafted in the 22nd round, which is one of the lower rounds in the MLB draft, by the Kansas City Royals, and gets up through their system and I think he gets DFA'd, or he gets traded to the Cubs for a player or two. It was like one of those trades where you're like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. It was more like they needed the extra players, because you're not trading for like a number 1 player to really revitalize your club. It was just something to fill a roster spot. And so the Cubs pick him up, and he throws a no-hitter, which is you have to get out 20-something batters. He went through 29 batters, I think. He only walked, 29 batters, I think. He only walked 2 of them, and without them allowing a hit, which is insane to think about, because these are MLB players who could pretty much hit most of the time anything that's thrown that's not incredibly easy to hit. It's mind-blowing. It's so unlikely to see that happen. I know I'm saying it's a lot, like I'm trying to really build this up, but the story within itself is incredible. And on top of that, he was also, out of the most recent no-hitters, he had the most hard hit balls, which means that when the opposing players made contact with the baseball 11 times on 11 outs, they made good enough contact to where the likelihood of the ball actually getting caught was lower than it should have been. So it was it's based on exit velocity. I actually don't know if that's how that's calculated, but it's based on exit velocity. And so that means that at least a couple of those balls should have been caught. So it was just a mixture of amazing defense by the Cubs, as well as just great pitching. I mean, even Alec Mills himself in the post-game interview was saying through the first 2 or 3 innings, he had no control of his fastball. And you could see that because he walked people. He was getting into deep counts, but he still pulled through and threw a no-hitter, which is just, it's a great story, and props to him. The Cubs ended up winning 12-0 that day versus a division rival who he's pitched against once before and did not do well. And usually when you play against a division rival, you have an idea of what they have in stock for like their junk. Like you know what they're gonna pitch you because you've seen it before at least once. And so granted, the Brewers aren't the best team in the MLB, and granted they don't have a stellar offense, but they're still a pure professional baseball team, and they got no hit by a 22nd rounder, or also known as a walk-on. It's just so unlikely, and it's a great sports story. I don't know if the Cubs are going to win the World Series this year. I think that they're poised to make a deep playoff run, but I don't know if they are going to beat the Dodgers. But this is definitely a highlight for the season. Anyway, this is going to be the least talked to episode about Stardew. We have like we've made $4,000. We're going to go down to the pens, say hello to the animals. We got to say goodnight to Pivo for not one last time, but for, last time of this year. Ooh, no, I don't want to sell that. Sell that. Probably could sell that. We're gonna break some geodes, see if we get anything good from those. Oh, sell the cave carrots, actually. We don't need 12 of them. Say hi to the animals, make sure they're fed. I know I fed them yesterday because I saw it. Yeah, so, oh, we can put the magnet ring in our, oop, one last for the year, I guess. Put that in there. Yeah, so it's really cool. It's just kind of the amazing power of sports, really. I know, oh, I don't watch sports ball, it's not my thing, and that's fine. But I really think that there are some cool stories of resilience and people not giving up on their dreams that really can be inspiring. Oh, how much bait do I get? 3. It took a day to get 3 bait. It's not all that much bait. Clucky, you're sitting on the egg, dude. I know you're sitting on that egg. I can see it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Clucky. Clucky, I need you to move. Buddy. Buddy, pal. Love of my life. Thank you. You still didn't drop me a duck feather. Now we're actually talking about the game again, but, well, and another good story going back to baseball is, and going back to the Chicago, I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, so I'm obviously biased here. So if you're, a Cardinals fan, I don't know why you're a Cardinals fan. I'm joking, but I think that the 2016 playoff run was one of the greatest sporting things I've ever seen. Cubs are the #1 team pretty much in the league the entire year. Don't breeze through the playoffs. They beat the Giants 4-1 or 3-1. They kind of breezed through that. The NLDS, the NLCS versus the Dodgers. They lose 2 games, but still win in 6, so no big problems there. But when you get to the World Series, you're going against the Cleveland Indians, who have the second longest losing streak in the history of major sports, at least in America. So basically, whoever would win that game would break their curse. The Cubs at the point stood at 108 years. Oh, that's new. 108 years before. Ancient Doll might be new. Before they won between championships, and I think the Indians were at 76. Fried. Oh, I think a fried egg is something I need, actually. Sturgeon is not something I need. We'll check the bundles. It was in the chef's bundle. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Was caviar also one of them? No. Okay. The Cubs go down 3-1 in the series, so one loss away from basically blowing their historic chance at breaking their curse, which would be in line with pretty much how their history went since the last time they went to the World Series, which was 1908. Won the World Series. They went to the World Series in the 1940s. A lot was said about that. They consistently over the years either lost a series which they are ahead, or they didn't make the playoffs even though they had a really good team, because they blew a couple game lead in September or August, or on the last day. Or like in 2015, you would be an upstart team, and all of a sudden you'll run against a Mets team with Daniel Murphy, who you get swept by, that you swept in the regular season. You won 8 games in a row, and they end up beating you 4 games in the NLCS. And, when that happened, everybody was like, oh, that makes sense. It's the Cubs. And so you had this long line of failure after failure after failure since the 1940s. I might Florapatite? I don't know what that is. Yeah, and it was just like the curse of the Billy Goat is what it was called, and it was finally broken. But you went down 3-1, and everyone in Chicago was like, oh, here we go again, we're never gonna win this series. It's over. But then you end up, blowing them out in, I think would have been game 5. Then you have to win 2 on the road in Cleveland, which is a tough place to play. And the Cubs end up, getting the lead in the first inning off of a home run. You're winning the entire game, but then the curse happens. Of course, something has to happen. Something has to go wrong. It's the Chicago Cubs. They're up 6-2 or 6-1 at one point, and end up giving up 4 runs in 1 inning. And so the game's tied. You go into the bottom of the 9th. And you strike. I forget who strikes out if they get struck out the side, or there's any kind of traffic on the bases. But there's no real drama on the bottom. But it all happened in the 8th, when you're like, you're starting to count outs. You're trying to say like, we only need this many outs, and the curse is broken. And there's generations of Cubs fans that were watching this with like their great grandparents, the grandparents, and their parents, and they never saw the World Series. They've been always waiting. They've been the the Wrigley hopefuls, and just never won. And you're seeing this lead slip away, and you're just like, oh, here we go again. And then you get into the 10th. There's a rain delay. There's a 25-minute rain delay or something like that. And the Cubs come out swinging. You go up a 2-run lead, but you know what happens in the bottom of the 10th? You give up a run, so now it's 8-7. And you're like, oh, here we go again. But they end up pulling it out. They win 3 games to almost not a reverse sweep, but they win 3 games in a row to get to that vital game 7. If you haven't watched that game 7 of the 2016 World Series, it's one of the best sporting games I've ever personally seen. It's one of the best World Series I think anyone's ever seen. Being extremely biased here, of course, but it's definitely something to worth the watch. And then there's a really good book by the current Cubs manager, who was the catcher at the time, who, by the way, hit a home run in his last at bat ever as an MLB player in Game 7 of the World Series to get the lead. No, it wasn't to get the lead, but it was still a solo shot home run in his last at bat ever in Game 7 of the World Series. It arguably one of the most important Game 7s in the history of two franchises. Two very old and very long-loved franchises. It's called Teammates by David Ross. I read it. Very, very well written. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I would recommend it if you are interested in sport things. But the emotions that went through that game, like the first thing I did was I'm getting a little choked up here because it was pretty cool. I called my dad. He's been a Cubs fan his entire life. And I'm just like, it's over, because my grandpa was a Cubs fan. My dad used to go with my grandma to games, and you know, in that entire lifespan, in my father's entire lifespan, the Cubs had never either gone to the World Series or won the World Series, and he's been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I was a Cubs fan growing up my entire life pretty much, and then, you know, seeing disappointment after disappointment, like in 2001 it was 2003, you had the Steve Bartman incident where the Cubs end up blowing Game 6 of the NLCS because of bad pitching and possible fan interference. And then, you know, you end up getting blown out in Game 7. Cubs go into a mini rebuild, and then in 2008 you win the division, and then you end up making the playoffs only to get swept by the Marlins again. I think it was the Marlins, and that was heartbreaking because you knew at that moment that if they didn't do well the following season, you're going to go in full rebuild mode, which is going to be another couple years, at least 4 or 5, of just being bottom of the basement, just, you know, only winning 60 games, 70 games out of 162. And it was just one of those feelings of like, here we go again. And then 2015 rolls around, and then, you know, we make the playoffs, but we get swept. Then you think, oh, 2016 has to be the year, and it was. It was pure. It was really. It was like a Hollywood script, and it's definitely something that I will remember. Seeing that final out still gives me goosebumps, and like thinking about it still gives me goosebumps. Sorry if this has been the baseball episode, but I'm in a bit of a reminiscing mood. We're actually getting towards the end of the episode here. I gotta upload this. It's not gonna get uploaded. It's not gonna get published today. The 55th episode got published today, so this will actually be coming out tomorrow. Yeah, so it'll be coming out tomorrow. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of mentions. No, actually, I'm sure I'm not gonna get any mentions, but I'm sure I'm gonna get at least a message or two from my friends about talking about baseball too much. But baseball has become one of my favorite sports. I used to be, you know, I actually gave up baseball when I was a kid to play football when I moved to a different city, and I regret it a bit. I rekindled my love for baseball that I once lost, and it's not just because the Cubs won the World Series. I was watching baseball pretty heavily prior to that, and, you know, struggling through games, watching them win 62 games, I think, in 2013. I couldn't watch every single one because it was my freshman year of college, but I would never imagine my senior year of my undergrad seeing the Cubs win, and it was awesome. And they're doing well this year. It's, you know, don't have the highest hopes, but it's a unique season. You know, here's a little bit of fan interaction. If you're watching this, and you're enjoying my random ramblings, comment your favorite sports moment. And if you don't have a favorite sports moment, comment your favorite moment from playing a video game, a triumph or something you've seen. Like esports counts too. I think they're sports. They're hard to do, and you need practice, and they're team based sometimes. So just comment your favorite moment of triumph, either sports or not. I'd be interested to read all of them. I definitely have to say the 2016 World Series Game 7 for the Cubs is my favorite. Even beating the Green Bay Packers winning the Super Bowl in 2010 easily. But again, my own bias. But yeah, back to Stardew. Tomorrow is Spring 1, and we'll be starting off fresh. I suspect that I will have to do the recordings. Well, if this gets published tomorrow, I'll probably have to do them Thursday. Today's Tuesday. I don't think I'll have that much time to do them tomorrow, or the will. Well, I have to do at least one tomorrow, don't I? Yeah, we'll do one tomorrow. It'll be the spring one, and then we'll be all set up for a long recording sesh. Hashtag record sesh. Again, as I'm wrapping this out, episode up and trying not to ramble so much, I would like to say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every view. I appreciate every subscribe. I just appreciate the overall support I've been getting. I know I just said appreciate 7 times in a row, but it's been great. I look forward to playing more series for the channel, more relaxing and more maybe not as relaxing. Like I said, I think in the Fall Guys episode or a previous Stardew, I'm considering getting a capture card for the Super Mario 35th anniversary thing. I could play through Sunshine, or I could play through Mario 64 Galaxy for the first time and experience that. Those might be a little bit easier to do for long form too, but we'll see how that goes. I kind of just had to repair a part of my sunroof because it got smashed, but I'm a bit hurting on the money side, but that's okay. I'm glad to be here doing something I enjoy for the internet to watch. So we're gonna get heading home. We're going to put the bat wings in the oh, we got some wine, bat wings and everything, and start selling everything we don't need, and we'll call it a year, a great year in Stardew Valley. The best year, as they say. So as I wrap up here, again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I also have a Twitter at twitter.com/teamlegitsnipes. I also have a Facebook, and look out for that 100 subscriber special. I think if you've been a follower for the channel for a while, I think you'll be surprised. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.